60.
Neither.
Choices for Raymond van Barneveld. 6 for double 16. Or down straight at double. Down he goes. Up he goes. Needs to go up a little bit further.
No score.
What's like that, Murph, where you wish you'd gone 6?
Well, if you're going to miss inside with dart 1. He did get all 3 at double, I suppose, at the end, but Steve Beaton finds double 5 to take the first leg.
Yeah, he was not pleased with that first start, Steve. He pulled it a good 3/4 of an inch to the left. So
100.
we always see Steve in this beautiful rhythm. And when he threw that poor dart at double 10, he readjusted. And I can't remember the last time he ever did that.
64.
But when he readjusted, he threw an absolute perler after that. Yeah, it's going to be a strange old darting fraternity without Raymond.
58.
But I've got to ask you, if the dream was to come true, and he has been talking about the dream, if he won the world title at the end of the year, would he retire?
I think he would have to, wouldn't he? I think Raymond van Barneveld set his stall out to retire. I mean, we're talking about that as a possibility now. A few weeks ago, people were saying, would he just meander off after being relegated in Rotterdam? So, you know, who knows where the story ends for Raymond van Barneveld. Nothing is certain. Nothing in the career of Barney is certain, except his head-to-head record against Paul Nicholson, because those two are not going to meet again, and that's 10-0 to Raymond.
Had to bring it up, didn't you? Yeah.
I was going to ask you how to beat Barney Paul.
I was actually talking. I was talking to Martin Atkins earlier about something, and we'll talk about that in the next leg. That one is 78. That's in, double 12. Oh, vintage Barney. That was not conventional by any means, but it was very effective. Yeah, I was talking to Martin Atkins in the practice room a couple of hours ago, and he was asking about motivation. And I said, well, back in October, I did something that I've never done and hadn't done in 10 years, and that was beat James Wade. And my motivation for coming back is impossible, because I've never beaten Raymond in a competitive match. And if he retires at the end of the year, I can't. So I've got to find other inspiration.
59.
But that 103 was very inspiring. And we know that Raymond's had these amazing acts of escapology in darts in the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years in spots. But if he was to get out of this Premier League hole that he is in, and bearing in mind his win against Hop was huge, and the Michael Smith loss was huge also, if he gets out of that, it'll be nothing short of incredible.
Well, not just that, the other things that could follow the Premier League, of course, unranked, but Barney's still got to go some to make it to the match play. Of course, Taylor in his retirement season took the World Match Play title. Barney might not even be in Blackpool.
It's going to take some effort to get there.
It all starts with these events, and I said that it might have started with that run on the Pro Tour, but perhaps in truth started with the fact that Raymond's qualified for 2 out of the 3 European Tour events which he entered qualifiers for. 76 required to break.
I'm surprised he didn't stay up top for double 18. He looks very good this evening. He looks sharp. And very, very encouraging, because at the start of the Premier League season, he didn't look sharp at all. His rhythm was all over the place. He was wrestling with what to do at the top of the throw. Now, the reason I bring that up is because in the Premier League at the start of the year, he was just following through. He wasn't stopping. And even last night, he was still following through with the throw with no stop. But this evening, he's been stopping. Stop there, then throw. Stop, then throw. That's the Raymond van Barneveld that I think is the most dangerous.
It may manifest in his technical ability, but is the difference between Barney's ears? Is he, more than most, a man who needs belief?
Yeah. I think he needs motivation. I think he needs belief. I don't think he's the kind of player who can just turn up and automatically be up for something. I think he needs to be jolted into something.
96.
I think negative press and a lot of pundits, including myself, saying that maybe this is all she wrote. Maybe him reading some of those articles was enough to motivate him. And to be honest with you, some of the stuff that I wrote was meant like that. It was to motivate the guy. Bullseye for Beaton. And it's in there. It had a wobble, but it is 2-2.
Well, that might motivate him because Barney had stolen a march by breaking in the previous leg, but Beaton bangs in the ball and levels up. It's back on throw.
57.
If we go on about what Raymond has done in the game, something he hasn't done. Hasn't won the World Match Play.
140.
How much of that is a motivating factor for him in the next 2 or 3 months? Because if he doesn't really put pedal to the metal,
100.
he ain't going to be in Blackpool.
Well, look, Glenn Durrant made it an ambition of his to qualify for Blackpool in his first season. He trousered £10,000 by winning 1 Pro Tour. He's added over 6 by reaching a final before that. Barney's done half of that so far, but Durrant's certainly in contention.
Well, the race for Blackpool started the first week of August. Because as soon as Blackpool was over, the 12-month rolling order of merit, as it stands, would start all over again for people from pretty much the end of July. Glenn's got 6 months to do that, if that.
Raymond has responded
40.
to being broken back
81.
by leaving 81 after 9.
Just need to go 12 ball. He can lay up for a favour double, which he has. This is not disappointing, this game. It's been played in a very professional manner.
32.
So, for that break back, Barneveld doesn't hesitate. Looks like he's in a pretty good mental space. And this is very good to watch.
Seems relaxed. Seems focused. The perfect mix for a professional darts player. And that is 2 180s in as many legs for the Dutch legend.
I don't think it's a coincidence, Chris, that
140.
the fact that his rhythm is just the tiniest bit slower this evening, he just looks like he's not going to miss. The crowd thought it was a 180. I was hesitant because I wasn't sure where that second dart was. But this is as good as I've seen him throw this year.
54.
We did, of course, have a conversation earlier on in the evening about Steve Beaton and his almost
105.
amazing performances at getting to European Tour events this year so far, because he's qualified for all 4 that they've had qualifiers for. But he's barely won a match on the Pro Tour.
34. Raymond requires 76.
76 for Barney. Goes down again to go back up top.
36.
Has time on his side. Yeah, he hasn't won many matches on the Pro Tour, Steve Beaton, but if you look at his averages and his performances, he's pretty high up on the list, so he's playing well and losing. One of the few matches he has won
95.
was against Raymond van Barneveld.
Require 40.
One of only 3 career wins against Barney.
Double 10 for Barney. Yeah, that's a lovely dart. So maybe, just maybe, Barneveld just knows how to beat Steve Beaton.
He's done it 10 times before today in professional matches.
I bet that goes back a few years.
Their first was in 1995. Second was at the famous 1998 World Championship. And there we see the stats, the figures for Raymond van Barneveld. Now, you, Paul, suggested that it's the best he's played all year. And those figures back it up.
He has, of course, had a better game statistically, but the way he looks like he's playing, the grouping of the scoring,
59.
the quality of the darts, the focus, this is the best I've seen him play personally, and that is exemplary from Beaton.
Well, before this leg, it was looking like his best game even statistically, because he's posted Only 3 ton plus averages, all of them 101 and change.
60,
In
Stevie
2019,
61.
2 of them in that run to the final in Wigan last weekend when he lost out to Adrian Lewis. Who would have thought that we'd have reached the stage where we'd be surprised to see that pair meeting in a final on a Pro Tour.
That's the truth. But in amongst all of the new young talent and the guys coming up from the BDO, you do need some of the stalwarts to stand up. And Steve is going for Bull there for double 16.
70.
He's laid up absolutely brilliantly. Very much like Raymond has done earlier in the match. Barney's going to leave a finish here.
92.
But we don't expect him to get a poke at it.
32.
Double 8 now then for the bronze Adonis.
Steve Beaton.
Enjoying this.
Flag Raymond to throw first. Game
Both
on.
players playing at a strong standard. It was a great draw when it came out, wasn't it? Just jumped off the
60.
page.
Oh, he's not one to get easy draws, is he, Raymond? Do you remember his game with Simon Whitlock in Sindelfingen a couple of years ago?
Yeah, he took out 141, wasn't it? The last leg decider.
One of the best finishes you will ever see. It was just gargantuan. And Simon Whitlock looked like he'd been hit by a crane truck.
He's
100.
sneaking under the radar here. He's just somehow hit a 174 without anyone really noticing, and he's snatched the darts off Barney. And at 4 apiece, if he does finish off this leg, he'll have the darts in 2 of the last 3.
These guys, of course, have got the same amount of European Tour wins. That's 1 each. Barney's was a little bit further back, but it was in this tournament when it was at the other venue in Dusseldorf.
You mentioned he doesn't get easy draws. Well, the route won't get easier for Raymond because the winner of this takes on the world number 2, Rob Cross.
And the way he's playing right now, good luck with that. He is, as we were putting it earlier this afternoon, he's probably the favourite for this tournament.
He's giving it some there, Raymond. As he landed the 140 to leave 101. Taken out 103 in leg 2. This would be huge in the context of the match.
Oh, he's just next door. He wanted that 45 badly for double 18, and Beaton can draw level and get the impetus back. Double 16. 2 8s. It's there. And this game is definitely not disappointing. This is classic. Great old school brilliance from both of these veterans.
I think what's making it so enjoyable is not just the quality of the darts, but the rhythm is almost identical between the pair. It's a dance on the hockey, isn't it?
These guys doing this kind of stuff is one of the reasons why a lot of people our age fell in love with this game. Just sit back and admire it.
44.
Also got to put a few words in there at some point, Chris. But this is now best of 3, and who has got the minerals to get the job done? Now, we know that Steve Beaton can do pretty much anything from any position. A couple of games last year he had with Kim Huybrechts were unbelievable, where he pinged 2 darters at the death and broke the heart of the Belgian. Is he going to do that to a Dutchman this evening and put a dent in the armoury of RVB in his quest for a last chance of greatness in 2019?
Well, he has produced the goods at the right time as he produces the right shots at the right time there to lead 170. Because Beaton, not only did he qualify for all 4 European Tour events, but he also reached quarter-finals at the UK Open. The bronze Adonis is going where the brass is.
54.
He will not like that, because Raymond van Barneveld let him in there a little bit by leaving 1-3-1. Did see a 1-3-1 from Nico Kurtz earlier this evening. Barney does not leave tops. This is typical Steve Beaton territory, this. 1 treble required. He's got it. But he hasn't got the double at the end, and Barneveld should I emphasise should get 1 dart for this leg. It's massive, this.
But he's pulled down the arm on the Bandits. But Barney can't cash in. Steve Beaton returns. 2 more at that target. And he does hit the front.
Typical Beaton. He was teasing and teasing some more. Worked his way down into the green bit. He snuck that leg in the bank.
First time he's led since leg 1. But more than that, he's reeled off 3 on the spin. Put Barney on the brink.
100.
A lot of players who are in the younger generation may feel a little intimidated when they play against Barney, but let's face facts.
44.
Steve Beaton was world champion before Barney, so what's he got to be intimidated about?
Yeah, Barney's retiring and he's playing a man 3 years his senior that's showing no signs of it.
60.
That's why we love him so much. He's still a bandit on a golf course, is Steve Beaton. Still looking very youthful.
50.
Still everybody's best friend in the practice room. Why would you retire? He's still got it.
Now he's got the match in his grasp because
60.
Barney was scratching around looking for trebles and couldn't find any in the previous visits, and just seems to have evaded Raymond for the last few turns, but he's found it back just in time.
Beaton's got to be crafty here. Oh my word. Steve Beaton, take a bow. Phenomenal. Pressure's like a 50-gram dumbbell on Raymond van Barneveld's throat right now.
Well, is Barney Beaton here? So Steve is going to get a dart at double 16.
70.
Well, he never does anything easy, Paul.
Nope.
Can he pull it off?
Possible 5 tops for 5 each.
He doesn't like it. He doesn't like that dart. You can see there the flight was covering a quarter of the bed.
Steve requires 32.
Steve Beaton is very much alive. Can he find 1 dart? He can! He's staying alive, and Raymond van Barneveld's tournament career is unfortunately in the coffin. What a brilliant game that was. We haven't finished for this evening, but that really was the main course, and everybody has had a fabulous time watching that over the last 20 minutes. One of the reasons why they are both legends is because they can provide that on cue. It's Steve Beaton's night, it's not RVB's. We will see more of him on the Euro Tour in his final season, but we'll see more of Steve Beaton against Rob Cross, the 7th seed. What a match that will be tomorrow. We really do look forward to that. Let's get a word with him now.
And you saw Raymond van Barneveld. What did you think?
You couldn't get much of a tougher draw, could you, really? It's the way the draw comes out, you know. You have to play the best to become the best, you know, and that starts, you know.
Ich habe ihn gefragt, was gedacht hat, als sich die Auslosung angeguckt hat und gesehen hat in der ersten Runde direkt Raymond van Barneveld. Sagte, ja, viel schwieriger kannst du es nicht erwischen, aber wenn du der Beste sein willst, dann musst du die Besten halt schlagen. You said it, you've got to beat the best. Next round, Rob Cross, top of the Premier League at the moment, in-form player. What will you have to do to beat him?
I'm gonna play a little bit better tonight than I did tonight. I think we were both a bit edgy, me and Barney, towards the end there. But I'm going to take my chances, you know. I know I can play better, practicing on playing better, but it's producing it on the stage. So hopefully I'll have a good game tomorrow.
In der nächsten Runde spielt Steve Beaton dann gegen den Weltmeister von 2018, Rob Cross. Und er sagt, da werde ich noch eine Schippe drauflegen müssen, sonst wird es knapp gegen ihn. Und dabei wünschen wir ihm dann in der 2. Runde viel Erfolg und sagen Gratulation dem Bronze Adonis, Steve Beaton!